live streaming to the YouTube live, Sonia. Oh, okay, so we're on air. I did it. Woohoo! This here, just okay. I think I could still see him over there. So he's gonna be sitting right there. So I could see him and you, and I'm right there. So okay. And then what's my thing is when I come in, I'll introduce him, and then okay, and then you'll announce for the phone calls regarding our guest or
Am I gonna what?
the phone calls.
What about it?
You'll be announcing like to call in with questions.
Sure.
I have a feeling he's going to be really interesting if he gets here. Okay. She didn't give us a phone number. Well, we'll just have to. Rositas.
It seems that when Ben was a teenager, living in Detroit, he used to have some.
Okay, so we're live right now. So.
I think I think Ben Carson. This is a crazy story.
So what?
Crazy story about Ben Carson today. It's a doctor.
What's the last one number? Okay. Okay. 36. Okay.
Okay, so I think the first segment is ready to go.
Okay.
And the second segment will have this guy. And then we'll have the third and fourth segment. So, we have the music queued up, and we have Alice queued up. Headline news, commentary, and entertainment from a decidedly conservative Latino perspective. Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Friday edition of the Chips and Salsa Show. It's November 6th, 2015, and I'm Martin Gonzalez. In the studio that we lovingly refer to as El Morcajete is Don Jorge Ortiz. And our other hosts, Alice Lara, has a night off. Normally at this point, Alice has the night off. And normally at this point in the show, we would be listening to mariachi music. But today, being the 201st birthday of Adolphe Sax, the Belgian musician who invented the saxophone, I thought we might enjoy some music by American recording artist and virtuoso saxophonist Dave Koz. The song is titled "You Make Me Smile." Listen. Well, we have a very special show for you tonight. We'll be talking about the upcoming Fox News Republican presidential debate that will take place this coming Tuesday. And we'll be talking about Ben Carson. We'll be talking about the latest jobless rate, and our in-studio guest is Jeffrey Craker, and he'll be talking about Operation Fast and Furious. Jeffrey was a whistleblower tonight. We'll get some new insights. Today is National Love Your Lawyer Day. Today is National Love Your Lawyer Day. A recent Gallup poll found that the percentage of Americans who think lawyers have high integrity, high ethical standards, is less than 21%. George, what do you think? Higher or lower?
I think it's lower. We'll be back in a few minutes when our show starts. Right now, this is like the intermission, the show before the show. So if you enjoy it, you'll be hearing behind the scenes what we do behind the scenes here to get prepared. So have fun.
Today, the Wall Street Journal reported the jobless rate is 5%. That's significant because looking back in the past 15 years of booms and busts, the average jobless rate has been at about 6.4%. And George, my question to you is: do you feel any more secure about your financial situation knowing that? No, George, I'm not a fan.
Hello?
Turning to Ben Carson.
Hello. Hello? Yeah, could you have Sonia call me?
In headlines today because it allegedly occurred 50 years ago.
Okay, no problem. I think she's trying to call me anyway.
Allegedly occurred 50 years ago. It's resurfaced.
That's what they call these smartphones. Dumb phones.
We're just 1 year away from electing our next president.
I know. As of today. As of today.
Who the men's are.
All right. Hello. Hey, sorry about that. I had the wrong number, and then when I called, then I had the silent on, and I couldn't hear you when I called. Um, do you have your computer on? Could you see if we're streaming live? We should be streaming live right now. Yeah. No, because I, I thought maybe you might have it. Yes, yes, I do. Uh huh. Uh huh. 3765. Okay. Has he called you? Oh, okay. Okay, I'll call him right now. Oh, he's not. Oh, he's not going to be here in person. Oh. Oh, okay. So six 4 7.
Yeah, we'll be talking about Matt Carson, his latest jobless rate. Our guest, Jeffrey Prather. Our guest Jeffrey Prather will be giving us to Operation Fast and Furious, Jeff's whistleblower. An Operation Fast and Furious whistleblower. So on Tuesday at 3:30, I realized I hadn't eaten lunch yet, and I went. So on Tuesday afternoon at like 3:30, I realized I hadn't eaten lunch yet. I had a meeting at 1 o'clock.
Okay, he's not going to be in here. He's going to call in.
Oh, okay.
And I just gave the number to the board off. He's going to call at 8:15, and he'll be with us from 8:15 on.
Oh, okay.
Is that what we have on the thing? Okay. Okay, let's see. He's supposed to send me a message. Says streaming live, so we should be live. Let me make sure. Okay. Oh, we're already on, huh?
Yeah, just about.
What's up?
Sure, we'll do that right now. Thank you. Do you want to check the music? You got it? So this past Saturday afternoon. I got the number one. I got the number 31 lunch combo, 2 items on sale. Yeah. Thank you. Ready, my friend?
We're ready.
Let's do it, brother.
Let's do it. Even Chino Banditos.
Headline news, commentary, and entertainment from a decidedly conservative Latino perspective. Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Friday edition of the Chips and Salsa Show. It's November the 6th, 2015, and I'm Martin Gonzalez, and we're listening to some crazy music. Not sure what that's all about, but I think it's kind of fun to listen to it anyway. What a great because it's just so funky. It's just so funky that it's just so. You know what happened, George? There, I got to tell you, the radio gods played a little prank on us, and they gave us some funky bass line there. Boom, 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 boom. I thought we were listening to the episode of the Jeffersons or something. For a minute, we switched from being the Chips and Salsa radio show to an episode of the Jeffersons.
I know that sounded kind of weird, but
well, we have some special music for you coming up in a little bit. But here we are on this November 6, 2015 edition of the Chips and Salsa Show. I'm Martin Gonzalez. In the studio, we have our dear friend Don Jorge Ortiz.
El Alacran.
Our other host, Alice Lara, has a night off. Well, she's probably glad that she's not here tonight, right?
She's probably somewhere laughing her head off.
Yeah, she's listening to the show going, what the heck was I don't know. Actually, as far as music goes, I mean, normally we don't have that kind of music. Normally we're playing mariachi music, but you know, tonight I wanted to do something a little different. Today being the 201st birthday of Adolphe Sax, the Belgian musician who invented the saxophone. I thought we might enjoy some music by Dave Cause, American jazz recording artist and virtuoso saxophonist. This song is titled You Make Me Smile.
I like it.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know, Latinos, we like jazz music, too.
We like jazz. We like pop.
Un poquito de todo.
Yep.
I mean, we like a little bit of everything. So I thought, hey, we'll listen to a little bit of some sax. Good representation of what that instrument can do. And, you know, we'll be listening to more of that maybe later on in the show. We have a very special show for you tonight. We'll be talking about the upcoming Fox Business News Republican presidential debate. Another one, George? I thought we were done with those debates.
We got a whole string of debates coming up, and now they changed the lineup and stuff. I'll tell you in a little while.
I know. That's crazy. That's taking place on Tuesday. We're going to be talking about Ben Carson. We're going to be talking about the latest jobless rate, and we have a guest, Jeffrey Prather, an Operation Fast and Furious whistleblower.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Looking forward to that. He's going to be giving us some new insights tonight. Well, today, George, is National Love Your Lawyer Day.
Woohoo!
I don't know if you've ever had to deal with a lawyer.
Oh, many times, yeah.
I've had a couple of occasions. They have not been pleasant.
I know. They when you go to ask for information, the secretary's well, he's not in.
No, he's never in. Unless you have him on retainer. Unless you paid your $25,000 and you got him on retainer. And then the clock starts ticking, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tick, 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 tick at $500 an hour. But today is National Love Your Lawyer Day, and I was reading this in the Wall Street Journal, and it made me laugh because in one of the paragraphs, it said a recent Gallup poll found that the percentage of Americans who think lawyers have high ethical standards is less than 21%. What do you think, George?
Hey, I think it's less than 5%.
I think you may be right. Jacob, what do you think? Is that percentage 21 too high, too low? 21%. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, there you go.
Thank you very much. Well, wait a minute. Now you have to tell me what that mock trial is. Mock trial. I thought you said MOCTRA, which I thought was some sort of acronym.
I know.
No, that would be cool, huh? Okay, so that's what that is. Okay,
And
well,
all
very
your
good.
politicians, most of your politicians have been lawyers. That's
So,
why Washington's all screwed up.
well, that's a perfectly good insight there.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
see?
That's
Okay, so to
different.
balance the scales, thank you very much. Little insight there
You
from
got
Jacob.
good lawyers and bad lawyers.
Some are more ethical
Yeah.
than others.
Yes.
You know what, George? I was thinking, and this was something that,
Fred
see,
Thompson. Fred Thompson just passed away. He
yeah,
was a lawyer.
he was a great
Yeah,
actor too, wasn't he?
I
And I
liked him.
thought he was, I didn't know him. I wasn't from his state. I think he was from Kentucky or Tennessee. Maybe it was Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah.
But, I mean, he struck me as a good person. He was a very talented actor. So then that extended it for me, thinking that he was probably a good guy and a
Yeah,
good.
because he was in the Watergate. He was.
That's right.
He was a lead prosecutor or something
Mm-hmm.
for the Watergate. I liked him. I really did.
Did you?
Yep.
I did too as an actor. I was thinking about. I was reading something by C.S. Lewis, and we're talking about ethics and high standards, and I don't think, or rather, I should say, I think that when you have politics, you have to have um, ethics and high moral standards, or politics is meaningless because what do we become without ethics and standards in politics?
I know you got to be able to trust a Well, nowadays you don't
But we
trust
don't, do we?
politicians. No, that's sad.
That's why we have Donald Trump and Ben Carson.
Guys
Uh,
who aren't typically politicians are the ones that are leading in the race.
I know, which is really bizarre. And in
What tells
turn,
you where the mind of the people are? The people want somebody they can trust. And right now, Ben Carson, Donald Trump, you know, these people that are ahead are the ones that they want. They're seeing something in them that they don't see in their politicians, and that's sad because it shouldn't be that way.
it's interesting because the Wall Street Journal story talks about what a low percentage that is of attorneys with high ethical standards. But I'm also thinking, what percentage would you assign to the mainstream media? How ethical do you think the mainstream media is in their reporting?
That's another thing.
50%, 60%, 80%, 20% like lawyers?
I
I
think
mean, I question the media as much as
I think I put
as
them in.
attorneys.
Yeah, I think I put them in the same category as attorneys.
I think they're down in the dirt
Yeah,
as well. I don't think they're of high ethical standards.
even Fox, it says they're fair and balanced. There's some things they do that irks me. You know, even though I trust Fox more than I trust CNN,
Right.
uh, I just I don't know. It's just something about the media nowadays that really you don't know whether to trust them or not. That's sad.
Well, they have their own agenda, I'm sure, just like
Yeah.
any political candidate. And speaking of political candidates, Ben Carson, George, in exactly 1 year from now, we're going to be electing our next president. I'm not a big fan of Ben Carson, but he is in the headline today because of an event that allegedly occurred 50 years ago. This is something that resurfaced just recently. It seems that when Ben was a teenager living in Detroit, he stabbed someone. And today that's supposed to somehow influence me as the voting public. And I can tell you personally, it has changed my mind about Ben. I think that Ben is a genius. Any guy who can turn his penchant for cutting people, his proclivity for using sharp objects to cut into people, into a legitimate profession such as neurosurgery, which is when a doctor takes knives and cuts into a person's central nervous system. He's exactly who I want in the White House, and he's got my vote.
But
Ben Carson.
But he's bipolar too.
Is he really?
Yep, and he's
Oh, I
taking
didn't know that. That's not fun.
and he's taking medication for it.
Yeah.
So it talks a lot about him. I dealt with a person who's bipolar, and if they're not under medication, they're in they have demons, and they have people.
It's tough for
They
people.
hear voices.
It's tough for people who have bipolar because when they're in that manic state, when they're in their grand state, man, they're so fun to be around. But when they're on their low end, oh man!
And for him to be a doctor.
Oh, that's our music, George. Man, we get to talk, and next thing you know, I gotta go, right?
Hey,
stay with us. You're gonna listen to some great messages. You're gonna stay right here on the Chips and Salsa Show.
So he should be calling them. Uh,
What do you think?
huh?
It's okay.
I know, and it was fast. Man. It was like, he should be calling here pretty soon. Uh, how do you know when somebody's on the line? Does it one of the lines light up? Oh, okay, up there, line one or something.
Who's talking to him right now?
Oh, good. Uh, right now we're on a break, and we should be coming right back with uh, our guest, and it's going to be awesome. This man is awesome, and if you're watching on YouTube and you want to call in, just go ahead and call in. Our numbers are 602 KFNX, or which is 5369. That's what the numbers are. Or 866-536-1100. That's a toll free number. You're going to like what you hear, and feel free to call in from anywhere that you're watching this. And when we come back on the air, we'll repeat those numbers again. But enjoy this. This is what we do when we're off the air. This is, you don't see this normally. And that goes for
Martin
you.
needs crackle.
And he loves Coca Cola. Oh, he's drinking the bottled one, but when he pops that can, you know it's Coke. So, okay, good. I have stuff on him here so we can ask questions. Um, when I come in, I'll come in with the list of candidates. When I come in on the third, I'll do the list.
You want to do that in the third segment?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then also, do you want me to do the shout out for the contest?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. And
Thank you. Can you ask him how he wants to be introduced? Can you ask him how he wants to be introduced? So you can tell me how he wants to be introduced?
we could talk to him, maybe.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
He's gonna ask him. Yes, yes. Yeah. Okay, this is gonna be good. You gonna bring in the Rositas, or we gotta leave it to the? We gotta do that one, and we gotta do the one for the doctor. Is he gonna play the?
Huh?
Is he gonna play the doctor?
I'm going to play.
And then what about Rosita's?
I'm going to do Rosita's in the third segment.
The third?
Yeah.
Okay. When I do the thing.
Take it away, Etso!
Yes.
Welcome back.
I love that. I love that.
Isn't that cool,
intro.
George?
Oh yeah, that's our signature intro there.
It's fun. This show is fun. We love doing it. We're so glad that you can be a part of it. If you would like to give us a call and be a part of the show that way, the Chips and Salsa Show here on KFNX, give us a call, 602-277-5369. Once again, it's 602-277-5369. We'll give you the number again because we're going to be talking with a very special guest on the line. He's going to be with us in just a few minutes, Jeffrey Prather. And before that, we have a very special message from Alice. That was our friend Alice recording a commercial spot for Dr. Mingan.
Sweet voice. That's why she's one of us.
I love her voice.
Yep.
I love listening to her voice. Anyway, we miss her, so we hope that she gets back soon. Anyway, we have a very special guest on the line with us this evening. It's Jeffrey Prather. Jeffrey, how are you tonight? I'm doing well. Please tell me how we would introduce you at a party. What would be the best way to introduce you with regards to the subject matter for this evening? Well, very good. We're so glad you could be a part of the show. Well, to set the stage here a little bit, Operation Fast and Furious was the ATF's gun walking scandal, right? And this took place between 2006 and 2011 here in Arizona. Yes, they purposely allowed licensed firearms dealers to sell weapons to illegal straw buyers, correct? Hoping to track the guns to Mexican drug cartel leaders and arrest them. I mean, externally, that was what we were told, though, that it was for that purpose. Okay. Okay. Well, they had no technology to track the guns, correct? Oh, so how could they have tracked the guns? They would have had to put some sort of like GPS or something to track them. I mean, certainly you're not going to be able to track it just by the serial number on the firearm. Right. You've mentioned Brian Terry a couple of times. He was killed in December of 2010, and the only thing more tragic than his death is the fact that there have been no prosecutions. The Attorney General, President Obama. I mean, this could go all the way, right? And yet, go ahead. No. It's stunning. It's stunning. And, we were talking in the first segment about ethics and politics, and the lack of it goes all the way to the White House. No, it's an interesting video. I've seen the video. George, have you seen that video?
I've seen parts of it. Yeah, I've heard of.
Uh, you know, uh, Jeffrey, I have to tell you, I saw that video. It is absolutely disturbing. What are your thoughts? Well, you're absolutely right. It's despicable. I feel it is despicable. It is exploitation for propaganda. And I'm for a little longer into the next segment so that we can continue the conversation. We're going to be going into a bit of a break here right now. Would that be okay? Can you join us? Thank you so much. You're listening to the Chips and Salsa Show. We're talking about Operation Fast and Furious and going way beyond that.
I
Right,
know
George?
a lot of information.
A lot of great information. Stay with us
Yep.
right here on the Chips and Salsa Show.
I don't know if that's coming out. I put the earphones there, but I don't think we're getting very good sound. He says they got a cord that they bring.
Hmm?
If I let them know ahead of time, they got a cord and it goes right in here. And if there's somebody on the phone, they pick it up. Right now, if this doesn't pick it up, then they hear us, but they don't hear
the music.
they don't hear the speaker.
Oh, they don't hear the guest.
Yeah. So I'm hoping.
This next segment is yours, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to say we're going to have Dr. Fletcher take it, and then if you can give me a minute before you introduce them again to talk to them. I mean, you can introduce them, but before you start talking to them, let me do
The Rosita.
Rosetta. Yeah.
Okay, and then what about you want to just go ahead and announce the contest at the same time? Okay.
Nice one.
And then when we go into the break, I'll go get the paperwork from him.
Okay.
You got it?
Sounds good. Beck, do you have some questions for Jeffrey? You can ask him. Do you have some questions that you can ask him?
Okay, yeah.
Donald Trump screaming, "Get out of my country!" Republicans use offensive words. So here's a few of our own. Fuck you, racist fuck. We're Latino kids born in the USA. And we've got something to say. I'm Rosa. I'm Ricardo. My friends call me Rick. But you keep calling me anchor baby? Racist bitch. When you say Mexican immigrant or racist murderers and drug dealers, you know it's racist code for words like spits, wetbags, and be nerds. And you have a tax speaking Mexican in this nation, millions of working Latinos would be deported. And you get your logo. Wait, can they clear the White House for America? So it means that makes the bad hair days. Yo, Trump, you may be high in the polls. Thanks to Asian racist fuckbird. But your only has to come from me. If you shouldn't have my abuelita, motherfuckers. You see, the Constitution makes me a citizen. And you hate that because I'm brown. And you say you're a patriot? But you want to tear the Bill of Rights down. I'm an American, born in the USA. This is my home. You can't take my rights away. If you don't like our Constitution and what it stands for, get the fuck out of my country. There's the door.
It's the 2016 presidential election.
Get a t-shirt or vote for speaker and get involved. The hashtag #DeportRacism 2016 movement.
At deportracism.com.
You don't have to be Latino to get involved.
You know?
No, kids. Trump is full of nothing sweet. This race is bullshit. Share this video if you're fed up with it.
I'm John Howard. And I'm Mark Alfred. And I'm Donald Trump. And with all due respect to the campaign trail, this is Thick Ice.
Hola, Donald Trump. Screaming, get out of my country.
Oh.
Ever in the history of ever.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Chips and Salsa Show. This is Jorge Ortiz with my co-hosts Martin Gonzalez and our special guest Jeffrey Prather.
Prather.
And Jeffrey, you're really opening our eyes here to this Fast and Furious. I noticed that your background is very it goes back to a lot of things. You're special forces. You're special. You've got bachelor's degrees, doctorate degrees. You're a very very intelligent man when it comes to what's happening behind the scenes. Could you go a little bit further about what you know about the Fast and Furious and?
I have to tell you, Jeffrey, that having worked for a firearms retailer here in the Valley, that never happened. I worked in it for a period. I worked in firearms retail, firearms manufacturing, and that never happened. Did you actually, I mean, other than the ones that were set up by the government, were you aware of that type of thing happening on a regular basis from licensed, legitimate firearms dealers here in the Valley? Absolutely. We had a phone number to the ATF office here in Phoenix, and not only that, when you do your NICS search, and any reasonable person, you have people fill out the form that has to be filled out. The first question is it for you or are you buying it for somebody else? And if they answer for somebody else, then then you can't sell it. And if it is for them, why does somebody need 60 guns? I don't think I ever saw anybody in the time that I was in firearms retail, anyone ever buy more than three three firearms at once. Maybe a couple of handguns and a rifle, that type of thing. A couple of shotguns or a semi-auto pistol. Never in that quantity, 60. Not even at a gun show would you see something like that. He's certainly not an American, not in my book. Yeah, let's not do that. Unbelievable. This is insidious because you have a government, an administration that creates a problem and then comes up with the solution, right? They say the problem is guns in America. The problem is we have too many guns. Look what's happening. We're selling guns to Mexico. They're coming in illegally. So there's all kinds of problems, but we can solve it with stricter laws and restrictions against rights. Uh, I'm sickened by how insidious that is. That loop between the government back to the government, calling rights wrongs and wrongs rights. Yeah, the president shouldn't have a special detail, right? Of men with weapons to protect his life. So it's okay for him, right? It's not okay for the average citizen to defend and protect their own rights. It's not only absurd, but it's an insult to the intelligence of the average American. Because who could not see through this? Who could not see what is exactly happening? The campaign, the orchestrated campaign from the administration on down in managing the news and managing the information and then covering it up. It's sickening. Yeah. No, you're kidding. This is the first I'm hearing of this. How is that possible? Unbelievable. Yes.
Do you think maybe the reason that the ambassador was killed is because he found out, or it was just to quiet up the whole operation? I'm hearing, I've heard some of what you're saying, and I've heard here and there bits and pieces, and it's like there was something going on that they didn't want to let out. Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard there was something going on that. Okay, we're gonna have to wrap it up because we're going into a commercial, but maybe we come back and just finish it up real quick when we come back to the next segment. Uh, okay, Doctor, we'll come right back to the Chips and Salsa show, and this is Jorge. Wow, I heard something about the Benghazi thing was a running operation, but it was bits and pieces that have come out like that.
Um,
How do we wrap it up with him?
you know what? We're going to bring it in and let's wrap it up real quick.
Because then we have to go to the Rositas and the giveaway. Oh, okay.
We didn't even talk about the giveaway.
I know we gotta. I don't know if he's got any calls that came in.
We'll see if we can give one away today.
It's just that he
His name is he Dr. Jeffrey Prather? Okay.
his 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 message is so. I mean, it's you could talk for hours about this. It's like everything he says is like people haven't heard.
Yeah, I had not heard that.
Yeah, I had heard something about that when it first when Benghazi first happened. They said that, but it was like these guys that talk about conspiracies and stuff. That's where.
Is he speaking anywhere? Does he have anything coming up? Or a book that he's, um, or does he have a book that he sold? Or
Got several books. Let's see, he's gonna do some self defense classes. Let's see, firearms, horsemanship, radio and TV appearances.
does he have a book? Did he write a book?
Yeah, I think there's a book out. It's just I don't know the title yet. He's a regular guest.
Does he have a website?
Yeah, that's what I'm on right now.
What's his website?
It's Dr. Jeffrey
Prater.
Prater. It's www.praterdirect.com. www.
You know what? We should defend our right to say it. And there's a certain way to defend it, isn't it, with the Second Amendment?
Right.
We have on the line a very special guest, Dr. Jeffrey Prather. And Dr. Prather, you have been on with us for the last couple of segments, and I want to thank you for being part of our show. It really means a lot that you have taken time to share with us and given us some new insights, not only about Operation Fast and Furious, but also about what has happened in Benghazi. You have a website. Can you tell me a little bit about your website and what people are going to find there? I see that. This is very nice. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Was there a final thought that you have before before we bid you adieu? Thank you so much for being a part of the show, Dr. Jeffrey Prather.
Thank you, Doctor.
All right. Well, I want to tell you that now, for those of you who have been waiting, anxiously wondering if we are going to be giving away a $50 gift certificate, because we've been doing so, George, for the last few weeks, right?
Yes.
We've been giving away $50 gift certificates to Rositas. And it just so happens that if you would like a $50 gift certificate, if you call our show right now, now's the time to do it, 602-277-5369. If you call in, you will be entered to win. Give us your first name, give us a phone number, and then we'll put it in a hat. George will take all the names and numbers down, and we'll draw one, right, George?
Yep, we will draw one, the lucky winner.
And while that's happening, and if you want the number again, I'll give it to you. 602-277-KFNX. It's just that simple. It's 5369. I want to tell you real quick that this past Wednesday, I was in meetings for most of the morning. And then it was like right around about 3:30 that I realized, hey, I haven't had lunch, and I'm kind of hungry. And I was in Mesa, and so there was just coincidentally a Rositas, fine Mexican food restaurant there on Dobson and Guadalupe. And so I went in there, and I thought, oh, man, I hope I'm not too late for lunch. And it just so happened that they serve lunch there until 4 o'clock. And so I got the number 31 lunch combo, which is the 2 items and 1 side. And I got a beefy tamale and a chicken enchilada and beans. and it was so good. And the thing that was really cool about it is I was waiting, and I don't think I even waited more than like 5 minutes for my meal. There weren't that many people there, and because at 3:30, really, most people are in that, after lunch, before dinner kind of thing. And that's where I was. And so I'm sitting there listening to music, and it's an alternative schedule, sort of ranchero music and boleros. And then the smell of the food and the chips and salsa came out, and I'm eating, and I just had gone into another place in my head, after working all day and just being so busy, to be able to relax and enjoy that beefy enchilada and the beefy tamale. And I have to tell you, like, the masa to meat ratio was perfect, and the chicken enchilada was at white chicken breast, a white chicken meat, and the beans were so creamy and good. And I thought, oh man, I love this place. So if you love Mexican food, then I invite you to try Rosita's, 2 convenient locations. The one I mentioned is on Dobson and Guadalupe, but there's one in Tempe as well on University and Hardy. Go to either one. Hey, congratulations to Steve, who just called in. Steve, you know who you are. You just called in. So we got your number. I'm looking at it right here. Jacob just brought it in. You just talked to him. We're going to be calling you back, Steve, and we're gonna get you that $50 gift certificate. Congratulations on winning that from Rositas.
And just to remind everybody that we do this every week, so just be ready to call in as soon as we announce it, and you can be the lucky winner.
And $50 buys a lot.
Exactly.
You get a lot of food.
And so many people have heard of Rositas. I mentioned it to somebody at the elections board, because I was working at the elections board.
Yeah.
And everybody had heard of Rositas, and it's amazing.
Rositas.
Rositas.
Hey, I was gonna
Rositas.
I wanted to ask you about that interview. What did you think about that interview with Dr. Prather?
He is so awesome in the information that he has regarding Fast and Furious and other gun running operations that our government and illegal stuff that our government is doing, and that we're not privy to. I mean, we're nobodies. I mean, if you're not in the government and you're not in a select committee to listen to this stuff, you don't know, and you're not going to know. Maybe 10 years down the line when they release it for the archives, But it's a shame. That's why people don't believe and don't trust the government right now. We're not being told a lot of stuff, and that's sad, because they're our government. It's our tax money that puts them in the office. It pays their salaries, and we don't know. We don't know things that are going on, and it's sad, And it's we need a change in Washington. Washington is broken. We need a change, and it's sad. Regardless if it's Democrat, Independent, Republican, we need a change. We need somebody that'll tell us the truth and deal straight out with the American public.
Well, earlier I was talking about politics, and I said politics without ethics is meaningless. But I think I would revise that now after listening to Dr. Jeffrey Prather and say that politics without ethics is evil. Because
it is.
It is absolutely horrible what corrupt power can do to a good country and to a good people. And I'm just kind of sick about it right now.
Under the disguise that a need to know, they don't need to know because it's not, we can't tell them, because if we tell them, other countries will know what's going on, and it's all a big secret. I mean, there's a lot of things they don't tell us because they deem it national security.
Well, or that we're not smart enough to know better. They know better for what's best for us. And that's the part that I think is absolutely wrong. But my question for you, George, would be, do you think that Donald Trump is the answer? He's going to be on Saturday Night Live this weekend. I think tomorrow's the show, right? And, he's going to try to push his agenda and his line and his reason and rationale for being the next president. Ben Carson. Who's the right guy? How do we know who the right guy is? We know who the wrong guy is right now.
Right.
But is Donald that guy that could really be the guy to turn things around, the ship around?
Well, he's the one that brought up certain topics that nobody wanted to talk about. And if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be talking about some of the subjects, So maybe he is,
Yeah, we'll see. We want to thank Monica Lotta for our logo, David Beasley for our music. We want to thank Jacob, our board op, thank you, George.
Ah.
And we hope Alice will be joining us again very soon. She's not going to be with us this coming Friday,
Right.
but she'll be back after that. She needs to take a little time off, but we wish her the best while she's out. And we want to thank you so much for being a part of our show and for listening and for
Being part of the
being so
Mosca.
supportive. Yeah, I mean, we love our audience. Our audience is awesome. So thank you so much. You're listening to the Chips and Salsa Show. I'm Martin Gonzalez with George Ortiz. You have a wonderful evening.
And a good Veterans Day coming up. Forgot. I'm going to have to mention that tomorrow, Veterans Day, and kind of, that's next
Veterans
week.
Day next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a little bumpy.
Yeah.